Assalamu alaikum everyone. This week on Therapy Thursday, we're going to talk about a phenomena that a lot of people are addicted to, our negative thinking. Now, sometimes we pick up these thoughts from something someone said, maybe social media, maybe nobody said anything at all, and it was a thought that popped up in our head, and we think about it, we rethink it, recycle it, and keep it in our minds until it emotionally exhausts us. If you're one of the lucky few people who doesn't recycle negative thinking, then congratulations. It's wonderful that you've been able to chuck that outside your mind. But if you are like the many who keep recycling negative thoughts, this session is specifically for you. Automated negative thoughts are things in therapy that we talk about with our clients and describe to them as ants, A-N-T. Ants that crawl in our heads, on our minds, and keep annoying us and bothering us and making us upset and angry. These automatic negative thoughts are things that create the negative pattern in our mind and keep solidifying it because nobody else but you is the one who recycles it over and over again. Negative thoughts can originate from absolutely anywhere, but they stay in our minds because we let them. So if you find that you are often recycling negative thinking or focusing so much on the negative that you're not able to get yourself out of that headspace, what are you supposed to do? And what steps can you take that can positively reinforce maybe other ideas, other thoughts in your mind that can allow you freedom from all that negative thinking? One of my favorite acronyms to introduce is the THINK acronym. When you start thinking before you allow your thoughts to process, it's a beautiful, wonderful way to stop yourself in your tracks if you've become a negative thinker. So what exactly is the THINK acronym? The first one, ask yourself, are my thoughts true? Whatever that is that I'm thinking about, are these really true? And if you're in that extreme think mode that I'm always like this, or this never happens, or I can't ever get this done, if you're thinking in those massive big extremes, chances are that that thought isn't really true because you're not always late, or it's not like you never eat healthy. We do make choices that are correct and that are good for us. So ask yourself, what I'm asking, is this true? The second thing, is it helpful? Is the thought that you're having helpful to you in this moment? Don't get me wrong, sometimes our negative thinking can be helpful. It's what we need to do to process, to move forward in life. But if you allow it to happen over and over and over again, now it's stopped being a helpful thought and turned into an ant thought. So is it helping you? The next thing is it important? If it's important to you, it's necessary for you to reflect a little bit more. But if it's not important, then make yourself stop. Don't allow yourself to overwhelm and exhaust yourself with a thought that isn't helpful, isn't really important to you. And then the next letter, N. Is it negative? It's very important for you to know the difference between positive thinking and negative thinking. Negative thinking is anything that brings our spirits down, makes us feel less than, doesn't let us achieve the potential that we truly have within ourselves. And finally, the K. Am I being kind? Am I being kind to myself with the thoughts that I have in my own head? And if your thoughts are not kind, then make yourself stop recycling them and don't allow yourself to go down that path of negativity that's going to keep building and building and building, and eventually you're not going to be able to move forward or be productive or help yourself out of this hole that you've dug yourself into. The THINK acronym. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it important? Is it negative? And is it kind? And if you can cross that checklist and say to yourself, yes, absolutely, this thought is good for me, then carry on. But if it isn't, and if you happen to be pushing yourself and putting yourself into all this negativity, then how do you get yourself out? How do you pull yourself out of it? First, reframe. Whenever you're in a situation that's forcefully making you think negatively, I assure you that there's a lot around you that you can reframe and rethink and turn that automatic negative thought into something positive. Yeah, absolutely. There's something positive in every negative situation. So allow yourself to push out of that negative thinking and ask yourself, what's good in this moment? What's right? What's working? Don't focus on what isn't, focus on what is. Another great strategy to use is gratitude. That's my favorite word. Use gratitude to help yourself out of negative thinking. Anytime you're in a state of negativity, when you switch into gratitude, you stop that negative process and allow yourself to push forward in a more beautiful, more healthy, more compassionate, more positive way. So show gratitude for anything around you, anything within you, anything about that situation. Allow yourself to focus on the health. And finally, surround yourself with positive people. If the voices around you are negative, it's going to be very natural for you to adopt a negative thinking mentality. And sometimes, even if that person isn't around, you'll bring that negative thinking home with you. So in order to break that cycle and break that pattern, you want to make sure that the people you are surrounded with are positive people as well, so that their positive energy can allow you to break out of your negative thought cycle and into a more positive one. So this week on Therapy Thursday, focusing on our thoughts and allowing ourselves freedom from negative thinking so that we no longer feel chained down or held back by those automatic negative thoughts that have been crawling all through our mind, and really opening up that opportunity to think positively and see past that dark cloud of negativity to really reach our best potential. Skip the ants and make sure you're staying positive this week.